Hello everyone, Kaoz here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video. Today we're going to talk about the Raids 3 items coming in just a few weeks or even months, and tell you what effect they are going to have not only in the Tombs of Amascut, but also in the entirety of Gielinor. I will be live streaming this every single day on my YouTube channel the day it comes out, so make sure to subscribe with notifications on, as I want to show you guys the raid itself, and also, if I get lucky with some items, we can go ahead and test it out. So, let's begin. I should also mention that I am going to quickly reference the first version of some of these items as we got them proposed in October of last year with the first blog post of the Tombs of Amascut rewards. This is important because we got a lot of changes coming up, and the most important part is that all of these items passed, and we are going to see them released with the Tombs of Amascut. If you guys remember the first version of the Masori Armor, it was going to be dropped as a base set that had the same offensive and prayer capabilities as Armadillo, however with much less defensive stats. We were going to get the Masori Amulet, which is now scrapped, which was objectively worse than the Necklace of Anguish. However, it had a very interesting effect. Whenever you wore it, it was going to keep damaging you until you got to below 40% hit points, and at that point, if you had some of the Masori armor pieces or all of them equipped, you are going to have much better ranged defensive capabilities, prayer, and finally, something new to ranged armor, which is ranged strength. As you can see, the first version of the armor was going to have a much less defensive capabilities, but the new and improved version is something similar, and as you can see, the base form is going to have a very similar mechanic to the previous one. It is going to have better offensive stats than Armadillo, however, defensive-wise, it's not going to be as good, as it only requires level 30 defense. However, the most important thing to note is that Jagex took the Torva route, and now you're going to be able to disassemble Armadillo components in order to upgrade the Masori armor. As you can see it on screen, you will need a certain number of Armadillo components in order to upgrade it. And with the better version of the armor, you're going to need 80 defense, and it is going to be objectively better than Armadillo overall. So whenever you need ranged for whatever reason, this is going to be the new best in slot armor to go for, and one that you want to take your hands on or put your hands on whenever you are looking for even more DPS. Extremely excited for this one, although I'm actually kind of bummed out or disappointed at the fact that we are not going to get the low life effect, as I was pretty excited for that high risk versus high reward. However, they might potentially revisit that mechanic in the future. The second item is the Heka of Tumeken, which is another magic wand added to the game, and the first version of the item was very underwhelming to say the least. As you can see, you need 85 magic to equip it. However, comparing it to the Kodai wand's level 75 magic requirement, it had objectively worse stats. However, the only interesting part is that it was going to attack in a 2-tick cycle for the first 3 attacks, and the final one was going to be a slower one at 4 ticks, and it was going to be more powerful compared to the other ones, and that's basically it. At first glance, the second version of the item might look a little bit underwhelming, strictly when we are looking at stats and mechanics, as it's pretty much unchanged. The only bit of information we got is that at level 99 magic, the max hit for the 2-tick cycle attack is going to be 17, and for the big boy hit at the end, the max hit is going to be 37. Now, that also sounds a little weak, however, to my knowledge, this is the very first instance of an attack item that is going to have synergy with whatever spellbook you are currently using. If you have the standard spellbook, the 4th attack is going to deal an additional 10% boosted damage. If you have the ancient spellbook, the 4th attack is going to be a 3x3 area of effect, so that's going to be pretty useful in multi-combat situations. And so far, my favorite one is the lunar spellbook effect. The 4th more powerful attack will heal allies, not including yourself, by 5% of your current magic level, which is going to be rounded down, along the path of the projectile, which is going to be capped at 5 players. And finally, the Heka's attack range is going to be increased by 1 for all of the attacks. What a lot of players are saying is that the Archaeus spellbook looks like the most useful one, and it is the following. At the 4th attack, you're going to lose 3 prayer points, and in exchange, you're going to drain 5% of the NPC's magic level up to a maximum of 20%, and it is also going to boost your magic level by 50% of the drained magic level, which is also going to be capped at 15% additional magic level. Important to note that this is going to be a temporary boost, and it is going to be lost at a certain period of time. Now, in my very personal opinion, the Kodai wand is currently useful for what? The Inferno, maybe some bursting situations. It's a very niche item, however very powerful, and the Heka, it looks like it's also going to have that same thing to it where it's going to be pretty niche. However, inside the raid, I'm also pretty sure it's going to be the new best in slot thing whenever you want to do either more damage, whenever you want to do speed runs, as I'm pretty sure this item, as it's going to come from the raid, it will be the best thing to wear in terms of magic, and it's going to have a lot of really interesting effects that you can actually wear with all of these spellbooks, so I'm pretty excited to see what players brainstorm with all of these things outside of the raid itself. Pretty much unchanged from the first version, we have the Ward of Elidnis. This is going to be the new best in slot magic shield, which is going to be better than the Arcane Spirit shield. However, if you remember, the Ward of Elidnis is going to be dropped as an uncharged or quote-unquote broken version, and you're gonna need level 90 prayer and smithing to repair it, as well as an Arcane Sigil and the 10,000 soul runes. Whenever you wear it, it is going to become the new best in slot magic shield, which is going to have a 5% magic damage, as it's going to be also a new thing added as opposed to all the other items which don't actually do this, and it is going to have a +5 magic attack bonus. And I'm also pretty excited to see how people use this, which is not just used for, I would say, bursting Slayer, pretty much everything where you use the Arcane Spirit shield. This is going to be the new best in slot item, which is going to be incredibly sought after. Also, a super interesting item coming into the game, we have the Lightbearer. This is going to be a new ring, which is going to have no offensive or defensive stats. However, it is going to recharge special attack energy 100% faster, so pretty much twice as fast. This is going to be incredibly useful for whenever you do Slayer or maybe do some raiding and you need your special attack to recharge faster, so you can use things like your Dragon Claws, your Zerite Crossbow, your Volatile Nightmare Staff. And also for skillers, you have things like the Dragon Axe, the Dragon Harpoon, and the Dragon Pickaxe, whenever you want to have that +3 bonus to woodcutting, fishing, and mining respectively. Now, obviously, it sounds like this is going to be useful for the raid itself, but it is going to have a lot of other uses outside of it for, any casual Slayer, PVMing, and also skilling that you could potentially get your hands on. However, I'm pretty sure this is not going to be a very cheap thing to have, so get ready to dump a lot of cash on this new shiny item coming that is going to regenerate your special attack energy faster. The fifth and final item is the Osmumten's Fang. This is the first version of the item as proposed in October of last year, and as you can see, it's basically a much stronger rapier. The only trade-off is that it was going to be much slower at 5 ticks as opposed to the rapier 4-tick attack speed. The first version had 150 stab style bonus and 115 melee strength. However, the second version, as you can see right here, is going to be increased by 25% for a total of 175 with a much slower or lower /attack style. The interesting thing about this is the special attack. Increases the max hit of the weapon to its true max hit for 1 attack, and it will also boost an accuracy by an additional 50%. It will only cost the 25% attack energy, and also to my knowledge, you guys can let me know if I'm wrong, this is going to be the very first time in Old School RuneScape where we will get a weapon that is not going to be able to hit a 0, of course if you have the adequate accuracy in all of your gear. Now, what is this true max hit thing is that the trade-off for not being able to hit zeros is that you're not going to be able to hit your max hit unless you do the special attack. The example we have here is that if you have weapons and gear and armor, a defender, that will give you a 60 max hit, you're gonna hit anywhere between 9 and 51. However, if you do the special attack, it is actually going to be able to hit that max hit, which is actually deemed the true max hit, and it will be a hit anywhere between 9 and 60. So it looks like this is going to be a very interesting weapon as opposed to the rapier, which can actually hit zeros and also can hit very hard. However, the slower attack style and also the incredibly more powerful melee strength is going to be, I would say, niche in some situations. However, we will have to wait and see how players use it, where, okay, what do you want? Do you want a faster attack speed with a chance of hitting zeros, or do you want a slightly slower attack speed that is going to be a guaranteed hit, and it's also going to have a very, very powerful special attack, so you can guarantee some damage if you are in a DPS check situation. You guys can let me know in the comment what you think about this one, and also let me know if there's anything else in Old School RuneScape that it guarantees a hit. I'm pretty sure that with a special attack, there's somewhere in the game that could potentially fill this function, but you guys can let me know in a comment below. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to buy it right away or in the very near future, but I'm extremely curious as to how this weapon will work. And now for my quote-unquote uneducated and quick opinion on all of these items. In my very personal opinion, the Masori Armor is going to be the most useful and versatile outside of the raid, because Armadillo is used in a lot of situations. I mean, if you're not using Void, Armadillo is pretty much the way to go for best in slot. So wherever you need ranged and whenever you need ranged accuracy, ranged strength, this is going to be the new best in slot armor. I'm pretty excited to see what new world records are set for the Inferno, for example, if players decide to take the Masori Armor into this terrible and terrifying activity. The Heka of Tumeken, honestly, if you think of the code I want, I can possibly think of Bursting, Slayer, and maybe some very niche situations where I don't really think the Heka is going to be very useful outside of the raid itself. Now, if you look at other previous best in slot items, we have the Twisted Bow coming from raids, which is incredibly useful in Chambers of Xeric. We have the Scythe of Vitur, which is incredibly useful in the Theater of Blood. Then obviously the Heka of Tumeken is going to fill this gap where, okay, so where is this new best in slot magic weapon going to be used? I'm pretty sure the most useful situation is of course going to be Raids 3 itself, so we'll have to wait and see how powerful it is compared to the code I want. Also, same comment for the Word of Elidnis. Honestly, whenever the Arcane Spirit Shield is useful, the new Word of Elidnis is going to be the new best in slot item that will be able to hit even harder whenever you have all of your Ancestral, your Occult Necklace, and all of the items that are going to boost all of your damage. Next we have the Lightbearer, which in my opinion, I'm also pretty excited for this one. I can't just imagine how much faster my trips are going to be whenever I need some special attack. Maybe things like Cerberus or something like that. And yeah, also in the raid, it sounds like it's going to be very useful for, for you to take your nice and juicy specials. And finally, the Osmumten's Fang. I guess a lot of people are not extremely happy with this one, but now, honestly, with the changes, it looks very, very powerful. And of course, let's just wait and see where it is used outside of the raid, because if in the Tombs of Amascut you have if you have monsters that are going to have a very high defensive stat, then of course the Osmumten's Fang 170 stab style is going to be incredibly useful, and it will allow you to, kill enemies faster. I don't really know where it's going to be used outside of the raid because of the 5 attack speed. I don't know, players might. This is the one that I saw a lot of complaints about, but hopefully players find a good niche item and a use for this one. So that's pretty much it. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe again, to be notified whenever I start raiding. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I want to show you guys what all of this content is going to be about. I want to give a massive thank you to all my channel members who have been joining recently. You guys are absolute legends, and if you would like to support this channel monetarily, you can click the join button below and see what type of cool perks you can get out of your monetary pledge. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I will see you on Wednesday for whenever we start grinding Guardians of the Rift, and of course I'll see you whenever Raid 3 drops. There's a lot of content coming our way, and I really hope you guys are excited for this one as much as I am excited to stream it. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day. And yeah, all of these outros are kind of weird. I'll see you guys then. Peace.